Assalamualaikum to Sir Shazali and hi everyone. Today our group will be present current initiative in environmental related management accounting. Our group consists of 4 members which are Nurul Shazida, Muhammad Nazrin, Muhammad Izzuddin and me myself Afifa Nazaruddin. Before I continue, I will explain the definition of environmental management accounting. Environmental management accounting is the identification, collection, analysis, and use of two types of information for internal decision making. The first is physical information, and the use, flows, and rates of energy, water, and materials, including waste. There are 4 contents in our presentation. The first one is eco-efficiency measure. Second is environmental life cycle costing. Third is environmental supply chain management, and lastly ISO 14001 environmental management system. I will talk about eco-efficiency measures. Before that, I will introduce eco-efficiency. What is eco-efficiency? The Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific define eco-efficiency as a key element for promoting fundamental changes in the way society produce and consume resources, and thus for measuring progress in green growth. Where does the origin of eco-efficiency come from? The concept of eco-efficiency can be tracked back in the 1970s as the concept of environmental efficiency. In the 1990s, Strattegel and Strom introduced eco-efficiency as a business link to sustainable development. Later, it was popularized by the World Business Council for Sustainable Development for the Business Sector in the course of the United Nations Conference on Environmental and Development in 1992. Next, the advantage in the business sector. Firstly, it was intended to be a practical approach for business sector to contribute to sustainable development through the pursuit of long-term profit by incorporating activities that respect the carrying capacity of the earth. Secondly, eco-efficiency is more general expression of the concept of resources efficiency by minimizing the resources used in producing a unit of output and resources productivity. Lastly, eco-efficiency is a useful tool for the business sector to achieve greater value with lower adverse environmental impacts. It should also be applied beyond the business sector and production patterns. Moreover, the eco-efficiency measure is particularly envisioned to respond to the different challenges of sustainability in the context of attaining both economic and ecological goals. These challenges include the impact of economic activity on the environment, such as resource consumption, pollution, emission, and waste. Besides, it affects resource productivity on the economy, for example, economic efficiency. Other than that, the impact of environmental degradation on economic productivity, for instance, reduction in absorptive capacity, loss of forest cover. Lastly, effects of environmental improvement on society such as congestion cost, improvement in well-being, social costs. Next is eco-efficiency measurement, which is environmental costs. Can be pollution, emission, for example, by chemical, oxygen demand, resources use, and which is energy or water use, and costs associated with the environmental burden such as traffic congestion costs. And for the economy output can be value added of benefit, GPD per capita, unit of product or service per kilometer, and costs associated with environmental burden such as traffic congestion costs. Therefore, I will show the example of eco-efficiency at the Toshiba Group. As you can see in the diagrams, it shows increasing in value of product, and in the pie chart of the composition of environmental impacts during product life cycles show that environmental impacts of products is higher than environmental impacts of business process. Okay, that's all from me. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Afifa. Assalamualaikum. I wish to Mr. Shazali and my fellow friends. I am Muhammad Nazrin, and now I will talk about Environmental Life Cycle Costing, ELCC. So, what is Environmental Life Cycle Costing, or ELCC? ELCC is on the whole the collection of total costs connected with products life cycle, which are underwritten with one or more subjects in the life cycle. For example, production cost, manufacturing cost, inventory cost, and operation cost. While life cycle assessment (LCA) in accordance with ISO 14040 defines a methodology for compiling and evaluating the environmental impacts of a product system throughout its life cycle. The standard is not specific to the construction industry, but the principles can be applied for product building system and complete buildings. There are 5 stages of ELCC, where research and development were this stage at product planning and design stage. Next, production, usage and maintenance, management during de-risking, where this stage at manufacture and sales stage. Lastly is reprocessing stage, where establish an effective recycling product management. Then, the purpose of environmental life cycle costing. The purpose is implementing ELCC. It is important to determine time horizon or lifetime of the product in order to perform an analysis in a specific period of time. It should harmonize with determined period of time on a natural environment. ELCC costs differ from LCA method principles because ELCC includes not only the environment impact but also the cost. However, the ELCC and LCA are complete each other. Next is objective of environmental life cycle costing. First, to identify the areas where cost reduction measures are more likely to be effective. Second, to assist management to smartly manage total cost throughout product's life cycle. And third, to estimate the cost impact of various design and support. After that is the benefit of environmental life cycle costing. First, aid management to allocate resources. The management can allocate the resources and determine the related cost when purchase the asset. Second, determine which areas for cost reduction. When calculate the cost, we know which area of cost can be reduced based on cost. Based on product life cycle, it is possible to identify cost drivers so that the management can focus on the most cost-effective areas of purchasing. So the third is more accurate cost forecasting. This is because better estimate of full cost associated with procurement leading to improved decision making at all levels, and additionally the analysis led to more forecasting of future expenditure and capital investment. For the fourth, performance trade-off against cost. This cost not only the factor to be considered in purchasing decision. Other factors such as overall fitness against requirements and quality of the product and the service to be provided are also relevant. Lastly, for my part is the challenges of environmental life cycle costing. First, time consuming. Life cycle costing is too long because of the changes of new technology. Next, technology factor. Nowadays, we can see that technology always change day by day. And lastly is costly. The longer the project lifetime, the more operating costs will be incurred. That's all from me, and I will hand over the presentation to Nurul Shazida.
Thank you, Nazrin. Hi, Assalamualaikum to Sir Shazali and my fellow classmates. My name is Nurul Shazida Binti Zarani, and I will be presenting the Environmental Supply Chain Management. So, what is environmental supply chain management? It is a key part of a sustainable business strategy. It covers management of all significant environmental impacts from a company's supply chain throughout the life cycle of products or services. The most significant environmental impact is often caused by activities outside a company. Therefore, it is of great importance to look at environmental improvements in the supply chain. The objective of environmental supply chain management is to eliminate or minimize waste, such as energy, hazardous greenhouse gas, or chemical emissions and solid waste. By reducing waste, a company may lower their business expenses while also helping to protect the environment. Implementing waste reduction measures does not have to be expensive or time-consuming. Next, environmental impacts from supply chains can include toxic waste, water pollution, loss of biodiversity, deforestation, long-term damage to ecosystems, hazardous air emissions as well as greenhouse gas emissions and energy use. Next, I will present the development of environmental supply chain management, and I will focus on the comply with legal environmental policy. Environmental protection and sustainability practices produce economic byproducts that result in tangible benefits such as improved sale, brand revaluation, and the avoidance of penalties. Companies that implement policies, methods, and activities to maintain environmental compliance have found that they not only avoid plenty of health and other dangers, but they also find ways to save costs while minimizing environmental impact. The advantages of an effective compliance program is resource management reduced costs. Environmental regulations are frequently connected to proper resource management such as water, electricity, physical space, and waste reduction, of all which contribute to a reduction in a company's regular costs. Next, there are many types of implementation of environmental supply chain management, but I will focus on the eco-labeling suppliers. Product labeling is a marketing strategy that helps to promote markets with unique qualities. The labels give information about features that are generally difficult to see or measure. Labels may be a useful and trustworthy source of information if they are used consistently and properly. Eco-labels are a type of product labeling that verifies a product's or service's environmental performance. To get an eco-label, a product or service must show that it may reduce the total environment effects of its production or usage by meeting specific criteria. Eco-labels are, in a sense, of label of approval that indicate a certified product to be more sustainable and better than functionally or economically comparable products. Next, for the advantages. Working with environmental supply chain management can not only improve a company's environmental impact, but also provide a number of business advantages and possibilities, such as improved continuity of supply. Diversify a company's supply chain to prevent being too reliant on a single link. Over the years, there have been several examples of suppliers failed to provide a service or product, resulting in negative effects for other companies. Having multiple suppliers in different parts of the world might help a company maintain their quality of goods or services, avoiding expensive downtime and damaging their image. For example, a harsh monsoon season in Thailand in 2011, which was linked to climate change, caused worldwide hard drive prices to surge. Two of the world's largest hard drive manufacturers were overly dependent on Thai suppliers who were unable to meet orders, resulting in delays, shortages, and high costs. Next, protecting against reputational damage. A company's supply chain has an impact on their company's reputation since information is now easily accessible online. To boost company development, it is critical to protect company's reputation. Determine that sustainability approach benefits every worker in the supply chain. This involves providing equal pay for equal effort and reducing environmental impact. Worker safety should never be ignored. For example, Apple has been a victim of this on recent years with its Chinese factory label condition being questioned. There were fears that their new, less expensive iPhone was being made in an unlawful and abusive environment. For the last advantages, reduce environmental impact. There is a frequent misconception that reducing a company's environmental impact is costly. In fact, it has the potential to save a lot of money. A company may instantly see results by reducing waste and improving the efficiency of buildings, cars, and machines. For example, John Mitchell Limited saved over 650,000 by investing in driver training for its transport fleet. Nike changed the way it makes select trainers, cutting labor costs by up to 50% and cutting material use by 20%, resulting in a 25% increase in margins. Lastly, there are ways to achieve good environmental supply chain management. There are raise awareness of environmental impacts and requirements in the supply chain. Next, ensure that suppliers as a minimum comply with environmental regulation. The third one is ensure implementation of environmental management system in the supply chain. And lastly, ensure continuous improvement of environmental impacts in the supply chain.
That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter, which is Muhammad Izzuddin.
Thank you to the previous presenter. Hello sir and fellow viewers, my name is Muhammad Izzuddin. I will continue the presentation on the next part, which is ISO 14001 Environmental Management System. Okay, the first one is the definition of ISO 14001. ISO 14001 is an international standard for environmental management system. It is intended to provide the organization with the elements of an effective environmental management system to protect the environment and respond to changing environmental conditions in balance with socio-economic needs, which can also be integrated with other management system requirements. An ISO 14001 environmental management system is a way of managing the aspect of your business which have a significant impact on the environment. Okay, the next part is the objective of ISO 14001. The first objective is to specify the requirement for environmental management system that an organization can use to enhance its environmental performance. ISO 14001 is intended for use by an organization seeking to manage its environmental responsibilities in a systematic manner that contribute to the environmental pillar of sustainability. The next objective is to help an organization achieve the intended outcome of its environmental management system, which provide value for the environment, the organization itself, and interested party. Consistent with the organization environmental policy, the intended outcome of an environmental management system include enhancement of environmental performance, fulfillment of compliant obligation, and the last one is achievement of environmental objective. The last objective is to be applicable by any organization regardless of size, type, and nature, and applies to the environmental aspect of its activities, products, and services that the organization determines. It can either control or influence considering a life cycle perspective. ISO 14001 does not state specific environmental performance criteria. So we move to the other part, which is the advantages of implementing ISO 14001. The first advantage is achieve strategic business aim by incorporating environmental issues into business management. Implementation will tell people that you care about the environment and have a proven framework for identifying and complying with the various regulatory and contractual requirements, thus boosting your image and credibility as above. The second one is improve company reputation and the confidence of stakeholders through strategic communication. This can enhance your image and help you maintain a good public image and improve community relations, which can help improve your market share and disinterested parties. Provide a competitive and financial advantage through improved efficiency and reduce cost is the third advantage. Through this systematic process, you can better build your public image and reduce your cost as identified above. But to continue to do this can help your employees find new and better ways to reduce your environmental impact and save time and resources when they improve their process. The next advantage is encourage better environmental performance of supplier by integrating them into the organization business system. When putting these improvement activities in place, you can greatly increase the chances that you will be successful for the first time by tracking the improvement through a good data collection, and even if the initiative goes off track, you will need this out sooner so that you can correct problem and recover faster. This can save further time and money. Last one is increased leadership involvement and engagement of employees. As just stated, employees who are involved in company improvement are more engaged in other aspects of the company. Engage the employee in a group effort to reduce the company environmental footprint will often have an increased employee focus and retention. The challenges on implementing of ISO 14001. The first one is take time to fully understanding about the laws and legislation with which you will need to comply. The rules and regulation our business are subject to regarding environmental impact can be complex, if not completely confusing. Without a dedicated individual in your organization who is knowledgeable of the environmental legislation that affect your company, you may feel like you are taking a shot in the dark when you are attempting to comply. The second point is need to maintain balance when begin evaluating process and making changes for environmental benefit. Perhaps the biggest challenge of ISO 14001 certification is need to maintain balance. Often when we begin evaluating process and making changes for environmental benefit, we may reduce productivity and may jeopardize outcome. It's crucial for top management and the EMS implementation team to be aware of the full effect of their desired objective and policies. In editing process and procedure, they must remain conscious of both the needs of the company, customer and stakeholder as well as the resulting environmental improvement. The third point is it's hard to get support and participation of your top leadership in implementing your EMS and the change that come with it. And just like with all the standard, this can be hurdle that isn't easy to overcome. Our top executive are very busy and stretched thin with big picture planning and operation oversight. Before you begin the implementation of your ISO 14001 EMS, make sure your leadership team understand the importance of their present and input as well as the benefit ISO certification has your company. The last point is organization may become discouraged when they realize how much more they have in front of them. The goal with the ISO 14001 EMS implementation and certification isn't to fix everything all at once. No auditor will expect you to have addressed every single risk and eliminate all your negative environmental effect in one stroke. Instead, they will look for proof of a constant and honest effort toward improvement and dedicated working EMS that is set up for continuous long-term progress. If you become discouraged as you examine your long list to dos, remember to step back and look at all the work and improvement you made so far. Before we end our presentation, we want to conclude that environmental management accounting procedures are crucial since most corporate actions have an impact on the environment. Almost every environmental effect, such as the consumption of raw material, the usage of utilities such as water and energy, and the generation of waste has monetary costs. Environmental management accounting can assist companies in decreasing costs by detecting, analyzing, managing, and cutting expenditure in a way that benefits both the company and the environment. Non-compliance, bad public relations, and health and safety issues can be identified using environmental management accounting. That's all from us. I hope you guys get something from our presentation. Thank you for watching. Bye.